The United States federal government will invest $100 billion into the research and deployment of floating small modular reactors. Definitions. 1. Small modular reactors are module-based nuclear power plants designed to be extremely portable and easy to set up. The unique size, modularity, and power input provides a key advantage compared to other forms of green energy. Solvency. 1. SMRs are the future of non-emitting energy. They're substantially smaller than traditional conventional nuclear power plants and significantly safer. The reduced size makes it less time for an SMR to cool down than a traditional plant, which reduces the risk of a chain reaction and a possible disaster. A. Multi-use. According to the Energy Policy Institute, SMRs can be easily used for drinking water, desalination, industrial heating, and clean hydrogen production, all with extremely minimal changes to SMR modular design. B. Reduced risk. According to MIT, SMRs can use repurposed technology from nuclear subs and offshore drilling to speed up their development while making them tsunami-proof and reducing the chance of leakage. 1. Little I. Floating reactors solve. In addition to the fact that SMRs are substantially safer than conventional reactors, floating SMRs reduce potential human exposure substantially. Advantage 1. Climate change. A. Uniqueness. 1. Warming is on the brink in the status quo. Investing in renewable energy is key. A. Global consensus. The UN IPCC says that we have to transition to 50% renewables by 2030 in order to avert extinction level climate impacts. B. Geoengineering fails. There are massive potential negative externalities because of the climate's unpredictability. It's impossible to know what will and won't work without testing in advance, which means it's best to invest in all types of infrastructure. C. Status quo can't solve. The recent $1.2 trillion of infrastructure plan doesn't incentivize the creation of new green power plants. It only gives tax credits for individuals, meaning there's no grid scale solvency. D. Renewable energy key. Investment in renewable energy has to triple by 2030 to have a significant impact on rising global temperatures. 2. Clean drinking water is getting increasingly scarce. A. Consumption. At the current water consumption rates, over 2/3 of the world's population may face water shortage by 2025. By 2050, over 6 billion people will live in areas with extreme water scarcity. 3. Electricity consumption is substantially increasing in the status quo. A. Consumption. According to the IEA, global electricity consumption is increasing at the fastest rate ever right now, with both current renewable solutions and conventional plants unable to meet quotas. Yearly increases are expected to hit over 5% annually. 4. Links. 1. Investments into SMRs are key to kickstarting renewable energy policies. A. Manufacturing. SMRs provide a significant advantage over conventional reactors due to their modular and prefabricated nature. While traditional power has to be built on site, SMRs can easily be mass-produced and assembled quickly. B. SMRs have high construction costs, so investment allows them to move towards a profitable operating state. C. NuScale's design was recently approved, but needs substantially more investment to bring to market. 2. IR modeling. A. Signaling. Investments into SMRs creates a perception of the U.S. is going to start mitigating its emissions, which removes a key excuse stopping other countries from doing the same. This is empirically key. European countries justify everything from immigration policies to carbon credits under the guise of U.S. inaction. 3. Increased water desalination. SMRs provide a key ability for on-site desalination. C. Internal links. 1. Climate change. A. The electricity market is saturated in the status quo due to the mix of green and carbon power generation methods. Any increase in alternative energy production crowds out coal and fossil fuels through undercutting electricity costs. B. SMRs significantly compete because reactors have a high cost of construction but low marginal cost. Once constructed, they compete well with energy and spot energy auctions. C. Life cycle carbon emissions from SMRs are extremely low, over 40 times lower than wind and solar than photovoltaic solar. 2. Climate leadership. A. Investment in SMRs in the U.S. is key. High pollution multinational corporations are based here and need access to U.S. specific electricity markets, so we inherently have an advantage in terms of climate hegemony. 1. Shifting the U.S. grid over to renewable energy sets precedent for U.S. corporations shifting strategies around renewable energy investments. 3. Perception. The U.S. signaling and investing into SMR incentivizes more R&D and decreased production and installation costs. This ripples out to other countries who model their energy sector after the U.S. policy initiatives and to other countries looking to invest in nuclear energy. 4. Desalination. A. Water shortages coming now. Already Cape Town is running out of water and the world doesn't have enough fresh water to sustain itself. B, offshore SMRs key to solve. They generate excess heat, which requires no transport to get to the ocean and heat up water for desalination. D, impacts. 1, environment. A, mass migration. Melting ice caps causing rising sea levels and a reduction in arable land, leading to political strife, and national governments exceed their capacity to deal with climate migrants. Their leaders will become increasingly desperate, eventually forcing international conflicts over value and limited resources. B, ocean acidification. The Scripps Institution of Oceanography says that the ocean absorbs carbon dioxide, leading it to become increasingly acidic and harming marine ecosystems. Specifically, if photoplankton are the base of the food chain, which leads to a chain reaction that destroys the global environment and kills all humans. C, structural violence. The UN says that 400,000 people die a year from warming. That's predominantly poor people of color in the global South who are less likely to have geographic mobility, more likely to live near a coast, and less likely to have flood-proof infrastructure. D, precautionary principle. We should always follow the most cautious path in matters regarding the environment because things could get even worse. For example, the US has been talking about the environment as an issue since Carter, but we're in a current situation because we don't follow the most cautious path and let CO2 reliance build up. 2, water shortages. A, cyclic poverty. When water is scarce, people in poverty are forced to turn to polluted water systems if they have any at all. Massive cholera outbreaks started in Haiti after an earthquake contaminated all clean water sources. B, resource wars. 260 river basins are shared between 2 or more countries, and there are already pastoral conflicts between migratory groups in the Horn of Africa over limited water supply. C, water the aisle to everything. Without access to clean and fresh water, basic humans functions cannot be met. Farmers not having access to water crops leads to further increased food insecurities and dehumanization.